So this is a message for Sabrina and Caitlin and for my wife Rachel. I just want to talk about the children's moment for Youth Sunday this Sunday. I just wanted to give you an idea. So our passage for Sunday is Doubting Thomas, and there's a really key part of it. If you don't know the story, it's John chapter 20, but essentially the disciple Thomas doesn't believe that Jesus has come back from the dead, even though the other disciples told them that they've seen him with their own eyes. And Thomas says, I won't believe until I see and until I touch. And so our lesson today for our children's sermon is just going to get to that idea, because Jesus says something really important. When he does show up to Thomas and lets him see him, Jesus says this to Thomas. He says, blessed are you that you've seen me and believed. He goes, but blessed are they who have not seen and yet believe. Now that's a hard idea maybe to get to seeing young people, so we're going to do an object lesson to help them out. And we're going to use these two bags. These are just two empty bags, but we're going to go up there, and when we invite the kids up, we're going to let them know that you want to have them help. I'm going to say, would you guys help me with a little activity here? I have two things in these bags, and you're going to help me discover what they are. Can I show you what the first one is? You're going to reach in your bag, pull out the object, and you say, what is that? And they might know it's like a party blower. And they'll be able to tell by looking at it what it is. Seeing is one level of figuring out or understanding what something is. But then the next one's a little trickier. You're going to say, we're not going to look at it. We're just going to reach in and use our hands. We'll keep our eyes closed, and we're going to feel around. And there's an object in here, and you can let a couple kids figure out what it might be. Don't let them share yet. But after a few kids have tried, you can go ahead and pull it out after maybe you said, what do you think it is? And they'll probably all say, well, it's a ball, or it's a tennis ball. They could tell by not seeing. So we looked in the one bag, and we pulled the item out, and we could see what it was. But even without seeing, even by just looking in the bag, we could figure out what was in here. So that's kind of getting to what the story is and what Jesus said at the end. Jesus is telling Thomas that you were able to figure out that I was alive because you could see me. He goes, but there's going to be people who believe that I'm alive and I rose from the dead, and they haven't seen me. They had to use some other way of knowing that I was real and knowing that I was alive. So in our activity, we used our senses. We used the sense of touch. But what the Bible's telling us is that there's other ways to know and believe that Jesus is alive. And it doesn't have to be just seeing Jesus. And you could maybe point to the people in the room, the other adults in the sanctuary, because many of them are in church because they believe that Jesus is alive, that Jesus rose from the dead. But it's not because they maybe have seen Jesus with their own eyes. More than likely they have felt him in their hearts. They have heard him speaking to them deep within their mind. They have experienced Jesus in other ways than just seeing him. Just like we can experience things in other ways in trying to figure out what they are. So that's the object lesson for you guys. I think Miss Rachel will be there, but if you have questions, you can send me a message through Instagram. We can conversate back and forth. All right. Appreciate you girls helping. I'll see you on Sunday morning.